Well, welcome along to Super League Raw News on Thursday, the 4th of April, just hours away now from round number 7 of the Betfred Super League. But before we get to that, let's relive some of the great tries that we saw in round number 6. What a sensational set of tries we've just witnessed there. Some wonderful kicks, wasn't there, last week? Lovely pitching wedge from Lewis Dodd. Nice one from Tui Lolohea as well for the Huddersfield Giants. Some individual flair and genius on show. More of that, please, in round number 7. Our superstars of Super League, please. We would love that, wouldn't we, over the course of the next 5 days or so. Right, some Super League Raw news, of course. Some of you we know enjoy the predictions element of Super League Raw Weekly, and that is why we have created a new show, the Prediction Show, taken from Super League Raw Weekly. That is now available for you to go and watch at your leisure on our YouTube channel. Of course, we're just under 2 weeks away now from the quiz night, the first ever Super League Raw quiz night. Do you think you know your rugby league? 7:30, 15th of April, live and exclusive. Make sure you get your tickets for this. They are free. The members, be on your marks. Those tickets are going to be coming to you first for you to secure your place at the Super League Raw quiz night. Make sure that you keep your eye out on your inboxes. More to follow on that. They will be coming to you in the next 48 hours for you to sign up for that one for free, and then they will go out on general sale, even though it isn't a sale because it is free, but you will be able to get your tickets. We are limited to 95 places, ladies and gentlemen. Going forward in May, this will of course be exclusive for Super League Raw members. To become a member, go to our Patreon website. Of course, there's 2 tickets up for grabs for the Challenge Cup finals for our members. That draw taking place in a few weeks' time. You want to be a part of that. So yeah, the Super League Raw quiz night, that's on its way. We look forward to bringing you that over the next few weeks. Outstanding. It's going to be a right laugh. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to that. Nobody does what Super League Raw does in the world of rugby league. This is a family. This is a community. Become a part of this community. We give it back to you in prizes. It's going to be outstanding fun now on the 15th of April. Right, let's now start to build up. But before we do, there was a massive announcement in Super League yesterday. Courtesy of the Wigan Warriors. I, for one, delighted that Bevan French is going to be sticking around for 4 more years. We need the best players in Super League. This is how Wigan announced it. And let's hear from the man himself, Mr. Bevan French.
Puts the kick in for French. Will it sit up for Bevan French? It does. It does. Oh, my word.
Marshall's going to kick ahead on the 4th tackle. Backs himself. Towed up by Bibby. Bevan French will round it off.
And they give it to the see you later twins. Here's an option. Here's French flying, and French with a diving sailor. Bevan French slices through. They make it up against Bevan French. Make it to go for the corner. French makes the tackle, and it goes into touch. Fielded is Cost, and it's French and French magnificent. French, French, French! Oh! It's 7! The dancing feet! French opens him up, French opens him up, and French and Farrell gets his hat-trick. Bevan French, they've managed to keep him quiet. Bevan's on his way, and he has the ball. He can feel the ball to French. French, oh, what a pass at it to Toby King. But take your hat off to Bevan French with that pass. The man's still going. He backed him up, 1-2, from him, dummy. Oh, what a try for Bevan French. Cheeky. O'Loughlin's pass, well dealt with by Bevan French, and French cutting infield. Dummies superbly under the post. French is going to have to kick. That kick is charged down, but it's straight back into his hands. And French is away. And French now looking for support. He's got it on the inside with Wardle. Kicks through. Knocked down. Wardle gets it. This is good. Here we go. Bevan French has got him in his face. Down his right hand side. French goes sprinting away. And it's Field to finish. Wow! With an options right across to Smith, bit of a trouble, now it's back to French. French with a football, puts the kick in, with opportunity himself, and he maximises the score. And quite incredible try. Well, this is Farrell, Farrell's found a way through. Bevan French is pushing up there, and this is a try in the opening minute of the second half. Told you it was going to be unpredictable. It got to port inside, and no one will stop Bevan French strolling under the post.
And in 2023, Steve Prescott, Man of Steel, Wigan Warriors, Bevan French.
I think I've definitely, like I've always said, I've always enjoyed my time. Ever since I got here, felt like I've evolved as a person, as a player. Learned so much from the coaching staff and the other players around me. Each year it's been different, and obviously like a few different positions and things like that. And so I've evolved in many ways since I've been here, and where the club's at now and where it's going, it's exciting, and you want to strive for a lot of success. And like I touched on earlier, is hoping to win as much silverware as possible. Yeah, it's just I've never had anything bad to say since I've been here. Really, it's just I've always enjoyed my time here, and not only on the field really. The relationships I've built off it, with all the boys, even a lot of people within the staff and everything like that. Everyone's just gotten along so well, and I guess it wasn't really a hard decision. I know I was off contract this year, and a few options were available, but my first option was to try and see what we could work out here first before even looking into any other options. So I'm glad it's done.
He's not alone. I'm glad it's done, and I'm not even a Wigan Warriors fan. Bevan French is box office. Credit to Wigan. I thought that unrailing of the 4-year contract was outstanding. Some incredible moments there. The man is box office. He is a superstar, and we've kept him in Super League for another 4 seasons. The reigning man of steel. This is how good he was last year. 29 appearances, 17 tries, 30 assists. Nobody had more last season. 21 breaks, 126 tackle busts in the season, over 2,500 metres. It's fair to say his glide path at the moment in 2024 isn't as great as that, but there's no doubt about it. He will get stronger and better as the campaign comes along. A brilliant try from him against the Saints on Good Friday. Bevan French, box office, he remains. You've got to feel sorry for Harry Rushton. Huddersfield Giants announcing that Harry Rushton is going to remain at the John Smith Stadium on the day that Bevan French was announced. I mean, talk about getting clips. I do feel for him, but congratulations to Harry Rushton on his new contract. Right, round number 7 on the way. This is how it goes. The Leopards take on the Warriors tonight. Then it's the Robins against the Broncos. Tigers take on the Red Devils. The Rhinos against the Wolves. Hull FC will entertain the Huddersfield Giants. And then the top go against the second team in the division. The Dragons host the Saints. That's going to be a belter, isn't it? Without any doubt whatsoever. Of course, tonight it is the Battle of the Borough, the first Battle of the Borough of 2024. Before we actually go to the teams, my apologies, let's do this first. This was their head-to-head last year, and as you can see, every single game going the way of the Wigan Warriors. League could not lay a glove on their biggest rivals, albeit they were very close in that round 27 game, wasn't it? Every bookie will have Wigan Warriors as the favourite, especially with the injury concerns of the Lee Leopards. Matt Moylan in great form, and Will Jaifield finally announced himself. He's been a bit slow, hasn't he, this season? Real concern at the Lee Leopards around Robbie Mulhern. In the press conference, Adrian Lamb saying there might be a little bit of a problem with Mulhern. They certainly would need him, I think, to have any chance against the Warriors this evening. Of course, that man there on screen, Uriah Hanley, is there a better winger in terms of form at this moment in time or the last couple of rounds? Probably not. He will love going up against his former side, as will Zach Ardegger, as will Josh Charlie. Of course, there's plenty there, isn't there, to go at. Big moments these for Dan Norman and Owen Trout. They really need to, show their mettle and worth for the Lee Leopards. And Frankie Holton, of course, returns alongside Ricky Latelli for this. Latelli coming back is a massive bonus. As for the Wigan Warriors, no Dupree, no Byrne, no Cooper. A lot of their front line is missing for this one. So we would expect Cade Ellis to go into a prop forward position with Luke Thompson. Thompson has been outstanding for Wigan, hasn't he, since arriving? And the likelihood is as well that, Harvey Hill and Junior Nsemba, they'll be getting plenty of game time in this game at the LSV tonight. It's going to be good to see those young charges do what they can do on the field of play. Let's now listen to what both coaches have had to say, and Josh Charlie going into the first Battle of the Borough 2024.
They're going pretty good. Obviously got beaten last week by Saints at Saints there, but it was a 50-50 game until the dying moment. So I think they'll want to respond from that performance and come here tomorrow night and do well. Just the same as us, we've been struggling with trying to get a win as well, and there's been a lot of focus on making sure we recover from that Salford game. It was a Saturday night into a Thursday. It was a 5-day turnaround. It's pretty tough to do that. So our focus this week from us is just to make sure that we try and keep as fresh as we can.
Yeah, it's always a good game, a derby game. We know what we're going to like. They've been top of the game for many years, so yeah, it's a good challenge for us to see where we're actually at, and I'm looking forward to it. I heard it's a sellout crowd as well, so LSV is going to be pumping for Thursday night.
So, at the end of last year, I think we had this sort of picture in the last 7-8 weeks, which we struggled with it, but the majority of the season was really good. So hopefully it's in reverse, if it's in reverse this way, and that we can get these players back and finish, the season strong. But, I can't worry about what's next and that next part of the season. We've got to take each week as we go, and I'm actually getting tired of talking about the injuries, and, we've got Robbie Mulhern with another one this week, but I'm getting tired of talking about it. But we've just got to make sure that we power on and just do perform to our best.
Yeah, we've done all right against them since they were promoted, but as you know, every game's been very tight, particularly at the start. So I'm not expecting this to be any different. I think it'll bring the best out of them. They've got a strong squad and a proud squad as well, proud coaching group, and as we know, this game means a lot to both sets of both clubs. So it's going to be intense, as it should be. So it's a game we look forward to. A lot of admiration for Adrian, obviously, and the way he shaped his team up in recent years. A few ex-Wiganers in there as well, so we're expecting a tough battle.
It's the local derby, and history goes back a long way. The love-hate relationship between both clubs is something that is obviously talked about throughout the borough here, and it's a good vibe to have as well. It's a good love-hate, so to speak. So, it'll be a sold-out stadium here Thursday night, which is great for Rugby League and great for the town.
The first Battle of the Borough 2024 is just a few hours away. I, for one, can't wait. We had a great atmosphere at the Totally Wicked Stadium on Good Friday. The LSV tonight will be jumping, bouncing, say whatever you want. It should come through the TV screens really, really well. Can Lee do the impossible? Can Wigan bounce back against that loss against the Saints? Well, I mean, let's be fair. I mean, we saw some highlights in the Bevan French video and there in the Matty Peake one last season in that game, the first game at the LSV. Wigan terrorised the Lee Leopards. They will be hoping that Bevan French isn't as good as he was that night this evening. What a game to start round number 7 in the Betfred Super League this evening. Right, let's now jump ahead to the Friday games. Castleford Tigers will be entertaining the Salford Red Devils. If you weren't a part of Super League Raw Weekly this week, then you might not know that the coach of the month for the month of March was Paul Rowley of the Salford Red Devils. He played 41-3, those 3 coming against Hull KR, St Helens and the Lee Leopards. He should have also got the win against the Wigan Warriors on, let's be fair, a shoestring budget. He lost loads of quality players at the start of the season. Who would have thought that Paul Rowley and the Salford Red Devils could have achieved what they achieved last month? They did, and massive congratulations go to them. And it was a double because Mark Sneed got our Player of the Month for March. A lot of people on social media saying, how can that be based on their performance in the Challenge Cup? Of course, this is Super League Raw. We only judge the Super League games in our awards, and as such, Mark Sneed, without doubt, has been the informed player in Super League throughout the month of March, and he completely and utterly deserved that accolade. As you will see at the start of this season, well, actually, it's not on the screen there. But yeah, at the start of the season, of course, Salford really did a number on the Castleford Tigers last season as well. It was a double for the Red Devils against the Tigers. So they will be coming into this really optimistic indeed that they can go again and make it a perfect 4 from 4. McShane's going to be huge for the Castleford Tigers. They desperately need him to be in fine form for them going forward this season. Hopefully his injury concerns are behind him. And you wouldn't want to be facing Ryan Briley after his outstanding performance against the Leopards this weekend. These are the 2 sides that are coming into it. Danny Richardson will hope to improve. That, of course, absolute head explosion against Leeds now is behind him. You will notice that Albert Vete is out. He has picked up another knock. But Sylvester Nemo, he is back in the squad. He's been playing a bit of reserve football for Castleford. He should be a bit more match fit. So, Craig Lingard expecting better things from him on his second outing in a Castleford Tigers shirt. Like I say, Paul McShane at 9 is going to be huge. We know they've got a good middle unit. The likes of Liam Watts was very, very easy on the eye, as was George Law in the first half against Leeds. Can they maintain that for a full 80 minutes? Alex Miller as well, also very strong in that game. As for the Salford Red Devils, well, you'll see it there back at the bottom. Nafaluma is back in the squad. Ethan Ryan, of course, remains in there as well. Sneed and Custerford had one of his better games against the Lee Leopards, and that offload from Oliver Parkinson, he's only just come back from injury as well. That is going to be very interesting indeed. Right, we haven't heard anything yet from Paul Rowley. We'll keep an eye out on that and maybe post it on our Facebook pages for you. But Craig Lingard has been speaking ahead of this game.
We were frustrated with our execution against Leeds. That first 40 minutes, I thought with the exception of scoring points, I thought we managed the field position and possession, and we defended really well. We restricted Leeds coming out of yardage, which is what we want to be doing better, which is going to be a massive focus for this week against Salford with their outside backs to get them on the front foot. So we've got to make sure we restrict their meters coming out of yardage as much as we possibly can. And we put in a 40-minute decent performance, with the exception of executing us plays down in the good ball area. Obviously, we dropped off in that second half, which we weren't pleased with, and the players weren't pleased with. So we've got that standard defensive. That's how we need to be in that, as we were in that first 40 minutes against Leeds, and there can't be an excuse for it not to happen for the full 80 minutes. But there's that sense of frustration there because the players don't feel like a massive massive distance away from executing some of the plays and getting over the line and being pretty good. But it's Super League competition. You're playing against good teams, and unless you're on it, then you're going to get punished, and that's what's happening to us lately. Really good team. I know when we got beat by Salford at the start of the season, people were saying that's a team that we should be beating. But Salford are a quality team. You look at their outside backs with McDonald and Lafayette in the centres, getting them on the front foot. Ryan Briley was always a threat. Scored probably 250 tries, whatever he scored in his career. The halfbacks that they've got, Mark Sneed, who's the player of the competition at the minute, and Custard, the other halfback, is solid as a rock and is a threat as well. Threats on the wings, and they've got some big middles and strike in the back row, Callum Watkins and Sam Stone in the back row. So they've got threats across the park, and similar to what Leeds were like last week, they'll probably play more rugby than what Leeds will anywhere across the park. They'll play coming out of yardage, they'll go coast to coast, and again we need to make sure that we're switched on, because there's threats wherever you look in this Salford team. So we've got to be on his guard, we've got to be on his on the money every single play of every single set. So we're under no illusion that this is going to be a tough test. And 4 tries all in the game over at Salford in the second game, and we missed out on goal kicks. And we're confident in what we can do, and it's just about executing now. We've marked time that we spent down in Leeds' quarter at the last weekend. We probably should have scored 2 or 3 tries down there, and I said at the time, take your hat off to Leeds' defence, and they defended really well. But we need to make sure now we're executing some of these chances that we get.
There's no doubt about it. The Castleford Tigers played really, really well against the Leeds Rhinos in that opening stanza last week, but they will need to maintain that for 80 minutes if they're going to lay a glove on Salford. That said, when Salford went to Hull KR in the Challenge Cup, big things were expected, and they didn't travel well. Coast to coast. I mean, I know there's been a waterlogged pitch down at the Jungle, but coast to coast, really, it's a new phrase, that one on me. I quite like it. I might use it myself going forward. But yeah, Craig Lingard trying to be optimistic, and rightly so for his Castleford Tigers going into this one. You have to feel that these are the type of games at some point that Castleford are going to have to pick off a win, because against the big boys, I do think they're going to struggle this year. But of course, who's bigger at the moment than Salford Red Devils? They will go into this game really pumped up and ready to put on a good show. Have you watched Super League Raw Weekly? If you've not, don't forget it is available as a podcast. That's right, it is available as a podcast. Go and listen to it on the go. Me and the chaps talking about these games in round 7 and giving our views on some of the big stories from the start of the week. Make sure that you're a part of that. Go and download our podcast, please do. Right, now let's move over to Craven Park, because of course on Friday the London Broncos go in search of their first win of the season. And we said on Super League Raw, have you ever seen anything like it? Look at the current game odds. You have to basically give London a 39.5 point head start to get odds of 8-5 for a home win. That is just unprecedented. I don't think I've ever seen anything so crazy in my life. London are not that bad, at least I don't think they are anyway. I think they could surprise somebody at some point. They will win a game. Will it be this one? Who knows? Well, the bookies don't think so. Now levels in incredible form for Hull KR since going to full back. He was our man of the match last week. And Ollie Leyland has been really easy on the eye for the London Broncos. We're really enjoying watching Ollie this season. We think he's having a great season indeed. In terms of the two sides, of course, big opportunity. Oh, my apologies. Whoa, what's going on here? Just there with me. It's coming. Here it is. The Hull KR, there you can see, of course, Hicker and Evans, those two, the form players 1 and 2. They will be box office in this, we expect. Really strong lineup as expected. Still no Oliver Gildart. I think that's the right decision. We said on Super League Raw Weekly we did expect Gildart to be risked, even though he's probably gone past his head protocols. To give him an extra week off, I think is a smart move from Willie Peters. A really strong roster there. There's no doubt about it for Hull KR. As for the London Broncos, they'll be pleased to see Akeem Maludi back. They really missed him, as Steph Sale said in Weekly last week. He is back in the side. I thought Reece Kennedy had a good game, and of course he's going up against his former team in this one, which will be a really interesting one as well. Not heard anything yet from Mike Eccles, but Willie Peters has been speaking ahead of this game.
Extremely important to us, like every game is. I've looked thoroughly, or we've looked thoroughly, the whole coaching staff have looked thoroughly into London, and they ask a lot of questions. When you look at their attack, they've got really nice shape and ask a lot of questions, and we need to be on defensively like we have been, and then with the ball we need to, as I say, we need to ask some questions of them, and then put some fatigue in them. But That's our focus is Friday night. It's an important game after a derby. We want to pride ourselves in being up again after a derby because some teams, may drop intensity after they have a spike, with a derby game. But, we pride ourselves in making sure that we stay to the levels that we want to be at.
Absolutely. Great to hear there from Willie Peters. I'm really impressed with Willie Peters. I think everybody is in Super League, doing a fine job indeed. I'm not going to take London for granted, and they can't afford to. I think it was Steph and Greg both said the Huddersfield Giants will have been disappointed that they didn't put a bigger number on the London Broncos. And I think Hull KR will really want to make a statement win against London on Friday night. It's going to be a tough assignment, this one, for Mike Eccles' men. We wish them well, as we always do. Don't forget as well, the Barry McDermott in conversation. That was premiered on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. You can go and watch that now on our YouTube channel, or again, listen to it as a podcast off Amazon, Apple, or Spotify. The Barry McDermott podcast. That is one not to be missed. Some really, really good, interesting debates in that one with Barry. It was a privilege to be in his company for about an hour and 20 minutes. Make sure you go and watch that one. Now, the game that needs no real introduction on Friday night is this one. The Leeds Rhinos taking on the Warrington Wolves. These two very seldom let us down. Some really good games in the recent past. Of course, the blowout in round one last year, but look at the way that Leeds bounced back at Halliwell Jones Stadium, 22 points to 6. That was the game, if you remember, that Darryl Powell remained in the box for a long time after the game. The rot was setting in at that point for the Wolves. But again, of course, Gary Chambers' Warrington Wolves went to Headingley in round 22, and it was a right nail-biter, if you remember, 24 points to 22. This is going to be a great game. Really tight as far as the bookies are concerned. Both have won 4 of the first 6 games. Lockie Miller is on fire. George Williams looked very impressive coming back from injury against the Catalan Dragons. And of course, there's other players around that as well that we could point out. Brodie Croft getting stronger. Matt Duffy's in good form for the Warrington Wolves as well. It really is going to be a very interesting match at Headingley on Friday night. You look down the list there, it's pretty much as you were. Of course, Cameron Smith has had his ban overturned. They did not try to appeal the Sangari one. So no Sangari for this one for the Leeds Rhinos, but they do have a pretty strong team there looking to go up and face the Warrington Wolves. I think the fact that McDonnell is back is really big for them. He has been outstanding. Of course, Sam Lasone, what a performance he put in against the Casford Tigers last week. Warrington are going to have to do it tough. No Joe Philbin, no Zane Musgrove, both of those out with HIA. Paul Vaughan banned as well for this game. Fortunately for the Warrington Wolves, Max Wood has been recalled from the Bradford Bulls on loan and is expected to feature. Josh Drinkwater, whilst in the squad, not expected to play. He will still be left out the squad. Not 100% fit. We're still hearing on that. But Leon Hayes, without doubt, is in too good a form to be dropped for this match. Let's go and hear now from Sam Burgess and also from Rowan Smith.
Disappointing for the team because our standards have been really high all pre-season, so we probably missed the jump early, and we got the momentum back at times, but we probably missed it again in the second half. So a couple of things we might need to have a look at, but there's some great efforts out there, but just too many points scored, so it's hard to get the win.
It's important to win and to play well, firstly, and to get a win this weekend, as it is every week. It's a very tight 4 competition. I think there's 5-6 teams who's there on 4-2, and a couple are 5-1, and there's a couple not far behind. So it's a tightly congested competition, which I think most people expected this year that it would be. So another chance to test ourselves against one of the the form teams of the competition so far. So we'll be looking forward to improving on last week in some ways and taking some other things from last week forward with us.
You do feel this is a big game for both teams. Warrington, of course, coming off the back of a very disappointing loss to the Catalan Dragons, as you heard there from Sam Burgess in his post-game interview. Very disappointed with that opening 12 minutes where they went 18-0 down the wire, and they never actually came back from that. And, Rowan Smith, very similar to Sam Burgess. A lot of people questioning, their pedigree for this season. Of course, both of them have had reasonable wins against Warrington against Hull KR, Leeds against Catalan, probably the pick of their wins thus far this season. So this really is a big moment for both these two sides. We're expecting both to be in the top 6 come the end of the season, but it's always fascinating when the Rhinos and the Wolves go head to head. It should be a feast of rugby league, this one on Friday night. I'm really Really looking forward to this game. It should be a belter. Now we go over to Saturday. Hull FC will welcome the Huddersfield Giants, and look at that Challenge Cup round 6 game. 50 points to 6 at the John Smith Stadium. That is still smarting the black and whites. And as we've said there, the player to watch, Jack Giles. What an incredible performance he put on in the second half against the Robins. Will he get the full 80 minutes this coming Saturday? If he does, I, for one, really looking forward to seeing how he goes over that period of time. There's no doubt about it, though. The big favourites coming into this will be Ian Watson's men. As you can see there, 1-4 on. And if you look at last season as well, with the exception of that round 10 game where FC did win at the MKM against the Huddersfield Giants, it's been all Giants. They're now 3 from 3 and 2 big wins as well. 52 and 50 points they put on the FC in their last 2 games. That is going to be very, very interesting indeed. Right, 21-man squads are in, and yet again, massive injury list at the black and whites. No Danny Houghton, he's going to be out for the foreseeable future, so we would expect New Brown to start at hooker, hence Charles coming in more than likely in the half positions for them. Also, Jack Ashworth out. That's another hammer blow for them. They really are having to do it tough. Good news that Liam Tyndall is back for them as well. That is good news. You'd expect to see Cam Scott still deputising in the centre in this game for Hull FC. Have they got enough, though? Have they got enough to go against the Huddersfield Giants? Will Jake Connor feature against his former side? We spoke about this at length in Weekly. We don't think he will. We think that he might actually go with an unchanged squad for this one. Don't be surprised if Jake Bibby keeps himself in the side and Masters goes to full-back where he played against the London Broncos. He didn't look out of place there, did he, in the game? So, yeah, no real fresh injury concerns for the Huddersfield Giants. The same can't be said, unfortunately, for Tony Smith. And it's always interesting at this moment in time to hear Tony Smith in a press conference. This is what he's had to say ahead of this game in his press conference. Here we go.
Tony, thanks for your time. Your team is firstly, Danny Houghton with that rib that he popped in the derby. How is he?
Sore. That's all I can. He won't be available this week. I can't tell you when he's going to be available. It's just when it's not sore enough to maybe get some assistance of a needle and numb it before he plays again. Now we've got the week off after we play Huddersfield, so that gives him another week. Whether that's enough time for him to make the Leeds game, I'm not sure, but we'll play it by ear. So he'll. I'm not sure what the answer is on length of time for him. Others, probably in order of severity. Jack Ashworth's cracked his thumb, or a bone around his thumb area. He was going for an appointment today with hopefully the option of being operated on today, with a forecast of about a 6-week recovery. He's not answering his phone, so that's good news that he may actually be in for surgery as we speak. So, but that's he's either getting it done today or very close to. The other one that's hit us right between the eyes this morning, really, when I got the full report from Nick Staveley, we first under the impression that he's nipped his cartilage in his knee, a meniscus, and so we thought it was going to be a matter of a 2 or if it's a minor, or a 6 if it's a bit more. Ends up that he's damaged his ACL, and he's going to be a 9-month recovery from time of operation. So.
Massive blow for Hull FC. All of these injuries just completely coming at them time and time again. There's a lot of youngsters now that are probably going to get an opportunity for Hull FC in this game. There's no doubt about that. And they're going to have to do it tough. I mean, Tony Smith's not a man who, looks for excuses. He doesn't do that. But there's no doubt about it. He's not been able to field his fully strength squad all season. They're desperate for the likes of Truman to come back, Staveley out for a season. That's really bad news for Staveley. We wish him well. ACL's never good to hear players going down with ACLs. And I think Ian Watson will be, pretty happy going into this game, knowing that, Hull FC are pretty busted, it has to be said. He was actually asked in his press conference about the likes of Davy Litton, and he said that Davy Litton may feature in this one. He's in and around it. Not sure if he's going to put him in or put him in the reserves again. I mean, we keep asking what's going on with Davy Litton. It's really, really odd. And Denis Balmforth as well, he spoke about him at length, pretty much said he's not cutting the mustard and he shouldn't be, at the moment he's not earning his right to be in the squad. And of course, Bamford, especially with the likes of Howard out, you'd expect him to be in. But no, I mean, there's a lot of questions over the camp, really. What is the morale like in Hull FC? It's very interesting when you hear a coach talking about young players that, for whatever reason, are not actually banging on doors. He talked about the likes of Jack Charles banging on doors to be noticed and to play. And then in the next breath, talking about players like Denis Bamford not doing the same. That's not good to hear if you're a Hull FC fan. It really isn't. Tony's got his work cut out there. And can they get a win against the odds against the Huddersfield Giants this coming weekend? I have to say, I think it's going to be very tough indeed. The final game of the weekend, of course, is the Saints against the Dragons in Perpignan. What a game that one is going to be. It really is a mouthwater, isn't it? And who can forget that the Catalan Dragons are a perfect 3 from 3 against the Saints in 2023. This is our game of the week. We will be doing a full analysis show. It will be hitting your screens. That'll be on Saturday morning, building up to the big Saturday night clash. Don't forget, 8:05 on Saturday. Box office. That's right. Prime time telly. Exactly where it deserves to be. We'll have a quick look, though, of the squads that's been announced. Artur Morg, as you can see, is there in the squad. That's good news for the Catalan Dragons. Theo Farge as well is back in the squad also. So it's going to be interesting to see if the likes of Cesar Rouge keeps his place. He played very well indeed against the Warrington Wolves, you will remember. But yeah, that's the way that the Catalan Dragons look. And it's great news for the Saints because, of course, James Bell is back. No Mark Percival, he's out with his HIA. And, of course, Matty Lees is banned for this one. But the fact that James Bell is back, that is a massive bonus for the Saints. He's a game changer. More about that in Game of the Week, which is coming to your screens over the weekend. That's Super League Raw. Barry Mack, he's available now in conversation. Don't forget, become a member of Super League Raw. Become a member. Get yourself in the hat for some incredible prizes. You know that there's Challenge Cup tickets up for grabs. The quiz, it's free in April, but it won't be from May. It's going to be a great bit of fun. That we here at Super League Raw are doing things that no other person in the world is currently doing around rugby league. We love rugby league. We do. We're trying to build a community. You are that community. Become a part of it. Go over to our Patreon page. Become a member. Be a part of those great prizes. Get closer to the community. Get in the WhatsApp chat. That is a great chat. Really good laugh when the games are on the telly. Loads of good banter in there. Super League Raw, just doing what we always do. Doing the hard work. Going around the grounds. All of those interviews available in full on all of the clubs' TV channels. If you're a fan of those clubs, you should have already watched them. But if you've not, go and support your team. Be a part of that. We'll continue to do the hard work for everybody else so that you don't have to go looking. We bring you the news from around the league as always. We will be back on Monday with another news update. Don't forget, Game of the Week, that's going to be the morning. In the Sheds will return tomorrow, Friday, with, of course, In the Sheds from the Lee Leopards and the Wigan Warriors. See them throughout the weekend. Super League Raw Weekly is back on Tuesday live at 8. You can go and listen to it as a podcast now or watch it on our YouTube channel. Go and do that. The Final Whistle podcast will be available for Monday morning when we will review with our Team Talk members from the membership everything that's happened in round number 7. It really is. You've just got to keep it here. Super League Raw. We love being a part of your everyday. We're trying to make Rugby League a 7-day happening really in this country. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to give these players the platform that they deserve, our game the platform it deserves. We hope you're enjoying the news updates. Apologies for Monday. It was Easter weekend. Had a lot on this week, but Super League Raw news update will be back this Monday, I assure you. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed bringing it to you. Get to the games. Please get to the games. Go and watch it live. There's nothing like watching Rugby League live, but if you can, and just take a seat on the sofa, get your tinnies ready and watch some outstanding Rugby League football starting tonight with the Battle of the Borough. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.